Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name's Sinya, you can call me Sid, and today I'm really excited because lately I've been doing this really fun thing called revisiting all of my teen favorites. Not childhood favorites, just because whatever, but I've decided to just go and revisit everything from my teens or things that I missed out on in my teens, and I'm like, you know what, I should get around to doing that right now, because the world's on fire and everything's awful. So, in case you didn't know, I love the CW show Gossip Girl. Mind you, I think that I should be very clear with the idea that Gossip Girl has a lot of bad content, so to speak. One of my favorite characters is Chuck Bass, and unfortunately, Chuck Bass at the start of the show does some really morally dubious things, but I do think that his character development throughout the CW show is very fun and very cool, and I end up loving Chuck as he becomes the person he wants to be and not as how he starts off, because I didn't like Chuck Bass at first, and I'm going to go a little bit more into detail when I talk about what today's subject is. And I read the first Gossip Girl book, and it was hot fucking garbage. It was so bad. I had a fun time. I had a great time, but this was not good, unfortunately. So this was written in 2002, so as you can imagine, a lot of things are written that have not aged well. There's a lot of fat phobia, there's a lot of misogyny, there's a lot of sexism, there's a lot of slut shaming, trigger warning for eating disorder. Blair is bulimic, and there are a couple of scenes where she's putting her finger down her throat and she's throwing up, kind of blindsides you a little bit, and I didn't really like that. Chuck is in the CW show, it's already bad territory, but I feel it's worse in the book. He's definitely much more smarmy. It was just really interesting to see the differences. One of the biggest differences is that Serena, when she comes back from boarding school and whatnot, we learned that there wasn't any really big thing. She just went off to boarding school and she came back. In the CW show, it's a lot different, and she has a brother named Eric, and the central conflict within the first season with Eric is just not here because Eric is not present, because he is not Serena's younger sister. Instead, he is Serena's older brother who goes to university, and that I really like the family dynamic between Serena and Eric and their mother, and we didn't get any of that here, and that made me really sad. Another difference is that Blair also has a brother. I don't believe she has a brother in the series. I believe she's an only child. When Blair, I feel is also way more of a bitch in the book than in the show, because she's a mean girl, and I don't mean that in a she's just a terrible person. She's just awful. They all kind of are. They're all really shitty, shallow, rich, privileged children in New York, running around, living their silly little lives, living their awful little whatever's. It's entertaining in a sense to indulge and look into how obscenely wealthy they are, and just how stupid it makes them, and how vapid and self-absorbed and narcissistic. It's popcorn books. It's like trash that you're putting into your brain, and I love it. It's one of my favorite things to just look at. I'm like, oh, give it to me. Give me all the garbage. I want it. But the book does not have that same sense of taste, I guess. It's very clear that with all of the Gossip Girl entries before the chapter skips, with the website, it's very clear that the overarching idea is supposed to be that this is ridiculous and that they're awful. This is why there's websites dedicated to gossiping about these terrible people, but I don't know. It's interesting because I really like Blake Lively and Lincoln Meester and Ed Westwick. and how they portray all of their characters, but I feel like those like pretty faces with these awful characters gives you a lot of leeway for other people to like have some sort of sympathy for them, whereas while I was reading this, I was like, I hate all of these people. It's not even entertaining. The scheming and the drama, obviously yes, entertaining, but it's like the characters themselves just make me sad. It just makes me really sad. Like I said, Chuck is a lot more of a sexual assaulter, like hardcore creep, and very slut-shamey, and very like they like create rumors about Serena having like STDs, and like because Serena like won't sleep with him, he like goes on this tangent about all of the gossip that he's heard about her. It's as if 2002 was crazy and there were no rules for like any writing. It's just awful to read. It's a little vile. And then there's a really big like sexual assault scene with Chuck at the end with Jenny Humphreys, and like I guess Jenny has like is well endowed in the chest area, and like they make a really big deal out of it in the book, and it makes me like really uncomfortable because Dan, her brother, Dan Humphreys, is someone who I like love and hate at the same time. Like I understand his character, but like I think the showrunners did a really bad job at like his final arc. But it's like weird even when he's like there's a line that really struck me where Dan's like, "Oh wow, my sister really does have like huge boobs," and I was just like, was that necessary? No, it wasn't. It absolutely was not necessary. I'm ranting about it, and I kind of am. Like, this was not fun in a lot of aspects. Like, it's weird in the show, Blair is Jenny Humphreys' like idol, but in the book, Serena is. So that's an interesting dynamic. Oh, and like the biggest like pet peeve of mine is like I really liked that the Humphrey family wasn't as wealthy as everyone else. And so there was like this really interesting dynamic of like Dan is more of a regular person, and he has financial issues, and it kind of helps bring balance to him and Serena's friendship. And that's just kind of all eliminated in the books. Like, they're all wealthy kids. Even Vanessa is also wealthy and goes to Constance. She lives in an apartment with her older sister, who is like a professional musician who just gigs around like New York. So all of those dynamics that I thought were really interesting are kind of just like plucked and thrown out. And that makes me deeply sad. I'm very sad. I wish it was better, but it wasn't. That's really all I have to say about like content wise, but I want everyone to also look at this because it's also bothered me. So all of the new like Gossip Girl editions have these like painted covers, which it's very like typical of like YA covers at the moment, like this type of style, except I absolutely hate it because I have the second Gossip Girl book. And this is what they used to look like. It used to be like these very here, I don't like it's I got a new ring light, so everything has glare. I'm trying to figure out how to light myself without my glasses glaring off, but whatever. I guess it's just gonna have to happen on the cover as well. But all of them would have these pictures of like faceless teens with their luxurious clothes and purses and shoes, sitting in limos or drinking champagne or whatever misadventures they're getting into, with the title. And that was it. This does not embody the smarminess and vapidness of rich New York teens that I crave. This is art. It's still art, but I'm not privy to it, I suppose. And can I just say that it kind of, like, the way that it's written, it reminds me of like a baby American Psycho without the murder and the stabbing and the intense like psychotic breakdown, just because there is this air of we should probably be making fun of these kids, and like in a way we are with this like Gossip Girl website, and we're definitely criticizing all of their moves and like their petty drama. And I do have to say that it's not written in a way where like I feel like they're glorifying any of this. It's definitely like, this is a window, we're looking through it into their lives. But it's still just very strange. I don't know. It doesn't have that type of like very clear, concentrated, this is what Gossip Girl is. And I don't like that, especially because, I don't know, I feel like it could be super bad for it to be so impressionable on like younger people if they had read it during those years, if that makes sense. Definitely going to be trying to read all of the Gossip Girl stuff, and I think I might do a video on each one of them because I'm sure there's plenty of stuff to rant about. I'm sure it's just going to get worse. I don't know. I don't really know if this like hill is going to make me frolic down it, or if I'm going to tumble and break all of my bones getting to the end. So we'll see. Serena is just not as likable. Dan is kind of a douchebag in like the sense that like literally he sees Serena, he's like, this is the girl of my dreams. I've been waiting to see her. She's everything that I want. She's my idealized like perfect flower. And I think he like actually says that, and that's like disgusting. Like Chuck is someone I love, and just he's so awful. Like worse than his show like counterpart Player is just insufferable. And just this makes me so sad. I'm so sad. This is awful. I hate it here. But I'll be reading the second one, and it's called You Know You Love Me, XOXO, Gossip Girl. Maybe it'll be better. We'll see. Anyways, yay! I have a new ring light, which is why my face looks a lot better. I'm actually filming this super early in the morning. As you can see, I'm still unpacking. And this is kind of on purpose because my bookshelf has a lot of books that I have bought I haven't read yet, so like that's a problem. So I put all of my unread books in this thing right by my bed nightstand, because there's like this just place where I can just stack all of them underneath my dresser. And so I go to sleep next to them, and then they whisper into my ear at night saying, you stupid girl, you should be reading your books that you're buying, and stop buying books and read them. And then I have nightmares about my never-ending TBR. So yeah, that's that. Anyways, I'm super excited because now that I have a ring light, I can kind of film whenever I want, and I don't really have that. The reason I film so sporadically is because I was always waiting for like the perfect lighting in my apartment, and then when I did have perfect lighting, like there was always something coming up, and I never just had I couldn't just be like, I'm filming this then, because no one has any recommendations on how to stop glare on people's glasses, because when I take off my glasses I can't see, and I suppose I could film without my glasses, but I think that would be really weird for me. But yeah, anyways, thank you. I'm super excited to be filming more content. I have a lot of stuff planned. It's gonna be a good month, I think, and I definitely want to just do booktube stuff like way more, and I always have, but I feel like now that I have a ring light, everything is just situated and it's better. I'm working at a different job, so I have different hours, so I'm home a lot more. It's just fun. It's a fun time. I'm having a good time. Anyways, I am on Twitter, and you can hear me scream about stuff over there. I'm on Instagram, you can follow me there. I like to post stuff about all of the books, manga, comics, things I'm reading, occasionally the movies I'm watching because I really like movies, and I'll link all that stuff in the description below. Anyways, yeah, that was my little rant review. If I were to give this a rating, I'd give it a 2 out of 5. And that's that. Anyways, have a great day. I hope you have a good one. Bye.